Fifth MPO Executive Committee to order. First up, item and vote on the approval of the agenda.
So move.
Second.
Moved by Polk City, second by City of Des Moines. Any discussion on the agenda? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Agenda is approved. Up next is the approval of the May meeting minutes. Motion. Move.
Second.
Moved by Des Moines, second by Des Moines. Any discussion or clarification on the May meeting minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Minutes are approved. On to our report and discuss. We have our self-certification by Dylan.
Thank you. Every year we go through a self-certification process, and we do this right before the tip because the actual certification document goes into the tip that's approved in July. So the certification, just make sure that it's really just an acknowledgement that we are complying with all the different federal rules and regulations and so forth. You can see them listed up there on the screen. I won't go through all of these in detail because we also just went through our quadrennial certification review where they come and certify us. And that'll be something you hear more about at the policy meeting later this month. But we just want to make sure that this group's acknowledging that, yes, we go through all this, we're complying with all these things, and we're above board.
Good to hear.
Any other questions? All right, here we go. Move on the draft transportation improvement program. Madison.
Thank you. Morning, everybody. So staff has completed development of the federal fiscal year 2026 through 2029 transportation improvement program. We'll be submitting that to the Iowa DOT on June 15th to get their comments. We've requested technical transportation committee members to review the project list to ensure that things are programmed correctly, the funding totals are accurate, project descriptions are matching up, and programs or projects are programmed into the correct year. We did have a number of requests to move projects around, and we're glad to say we were able to make everybody's requests work out. So, okay, that next few slides will be just a quick overview of our fiscal constraint. With the STBG, we are required by the federal DOT to maintain fiscal constraint, and as you can see from the table, for all 4 years of this tip, we show a positive balance at the end of each year. For the TAP program, we don't have the requirement of fiscal constraint like we do for STBG, but likewise, we do show positive balance at the end of each year, fiscally constrained with that program as well. And then finally, for carbon reduction program funds, also like with the TAP program, no requirement for fiscal constraint. 2026, 2027, we show a positive balance at the end of the year with the projects that we program. We're slightly over in 2028 just with the way that we've allocated funding for the CRP program, but we're back with a positive balance in 2029. So we'll be sending this to the DOT and addressing their comments that come from technical committee members and the public. We do have a public open house meeting on July 8th here at the MPO from 5 to 6 p.m. That's Tuesday, July 8th, I believe, yes. So anyways, we're happy to take any comments or questions now. Otherwise, this is ready for your approval.
Any questions? We'll move on to policy for the approval. Up next, we have Safe Streets for All grant development finance.
All right, so as we've discussed multiple times, working on the grant for Safe Streets and Roads for All. Here are the requirements and recommendations and items from the NOPO. Maximum award is 25 million. We're just short of that right now, but we're still working on budgets for the projects. Here's the list of projects that we moved forward with. Again, we had one project that was listed as a shared project between the city of Pleasant Hill and the city of Des Moines. That was removed, and this was approved by the policy committee last month. Just a quick update on the schedule from here to when we deliver the grant or submit the grant. We're working on grant writing. Our consultant team is working diligently on a draft, the second draft for us. Over the next week, the technical staff and your communities will review project snapshots, which is a more in-depth description of the projects that we're including, so that we have schedule, budget, and process items put together for that. So when USDOT reviews it, they feel comfortable that we successfully deliver these projects. letters of support resolutions are due next Monday. Most of the communities I know that a few communities have reached out, said they might be a day late. They're getting them approved, so that's great. And many communities have already submitted, so if you've already submitted, thank you very much. We'll finalize the grant between the 20th and 24th and submit hopefully a day early on the 25th. Any questions on that?
See you. Thank you. Moving on to multimodal economic impact study update, Marcus.
Okay, so a few months ago, we brought forward that we were kicking off this multimodal impact study. We had a stakeholder group come meet with the consultant to talk about what are the products of this study and what's to be expected. We're now getting to the point where we're going to have some draft materials for them to review. So this is the schedule of the project. The only change that's really been made to the schedule is that class one, we've shifted out when that initial deliverable is going to be completed. But the stakeholder committee is meeting on Monday with the consultant team to kind of go over that first initial set of outputs that will go into that report. I want to have the stakeholder committee review that, provide any comments so that any comments can go to the report before that gets drafted. Other changes to the project, DART has elected to take on some additional analysis that will look at options for future funding scenarios, and using this analysis will help them understand what are the benefits of those different budgetary restrictions and things like that. And that's part of reimagine DART, that planning process. It works in conjunction with.
So is that September?
Yeah, yep, September should all be wrapped up.
Okay.
Yep. So everything's on track, slightly delayed because of some modeling issues and data inputs, but everything should be good to go from here. And then Monday, we're meeting with that consultant team again, go over initial outputs. If you're interested in what was shared at that previous workshop, it's on our website. You can go to our website under projects and find multimodal impact study. And we have slides in the training video where the consultant team walks through what's to be expected from the results of the study. So that's all I have for this. I'm happy to take any questions.
Having three people here on staff. We have a couple informational items, Dylan.
And those are just in your packet for informational purposes. We don't have slides to them, but we will have a financial statement because it's just the way the first ends. We'll have that meeting next week. It'll be on there for policy. This time of year, we also do an investment policy. This will also go to the finance subcommittee. Typically, we haven't updated that in the last couple of years, but it just says what instruments we can use for the savings accounts and so forth we have. And then, like I said, Federal Highway will be at the policy meeting later this month to present on the certification review. So we have very positive certification review. The document is in the packet. I believe it's a link to in the packet. So if you want to read that ahead of time, otherwise, Sean Liberal from Federal Highway will be here to present that in a few weeks. So in July, there's no policy meeting, so exec acts as that. The big thing there is approving of the TIP.
Any other non-action items interesting?
Yeah, we have a couple of things here that we'll share. One, and we can turn this over to Shelby too, but just a reminder, the next Tuesday is the DOT Commission meeting in West Des Moines. We have a slot on the agenda to speak, and we'll talk about the future 435 and our safety work that's been going on. Anything else there, Shelby?
There's an unscheduled delegation time slot scheduled at 9:20, so there's still, does anybody want to attend, even though the agenda already went out, we still love to have more people show up.
I think I saw West Des Moines and Johnston, all the two communities I noticed were on.
Yeah, those were the only two, which was.
There's still time.
Yes. Well, actually, DART did after this, I mentioned this morning, they said they'll be there, so they. We'll be at 9:20, I guess, so around 9:30 is still available.
So there's that. I have a couple of staff updates as well. One, just acknowledgement to Marcus. Marcus was named a young leader to follow and a rising star for the Institute of Transportation Engineers, or traffic engineers. So that's kudos to Marcus there.
Did you get a star?
I think there's like a little start coming.
And then also wanted to acknowledge Addison and Allison, who were both accepted into the Lead DSM's Community Leadership Program that will start this fall. So that's something we're looking forward to, and a few of us have already gone through that on staff, and so it's nice to get. Hopefully, everybody go through that eventually here, because that's a good program.
All right, does anyone have anything to add? Our next meeting is on July 10th at 11:30. Thank you, everyone. We are adjourned. That's why I was thinking.